You know, when you work with animals, you can sometimes see the absolute worst in the human spirit, but when you have the people that come in and intervene on behalf of an animal, then you see the absolute best of the human spirit.
Located in the remote beauty of western Montana, you'll find the Rolling Dog Ranch Animal Sanctuary, founded by Steve Smith and his wife Elaine Marker.
We met and married in Seattle in 1994, and at that point Elaine had a dog and I had 6 cats that I brought to the marriage, but I wanted to have a dog of my own, and so we adopted Dolly, who was a special needs dog, and that she had been terribly abused as a puppy and was scared to death of people. And we started at that point adopting animals who had very special needs, usually from trauma like that, abuse victims. And that sort of led us to start thinking about who were the animals who were the most vulnerable in our society. And from that point, we kind of ended up gravitating towards disabled animals, because we found that there was almost nobody out there focused strictly on rescuing and sheltering disabled animals.
And we used our own funds to get the ranch started. And our feeling was, if you believe in enough in what you're doing, you should be able to put your own financial assets out there first to get started, and then you go forward with the generosity of the supporters, which we've been doing ever since.
This is our first barn, Lena's barn, who we actually named for the very first animal that arrived, which was a blind horse named Lena. And when Elaine and I started the sanctuary in 2000, we actually thought we were going to do disabled dogs and cats. And the very first animal that arrived was a blind horse. This was Lena, and she was a quarter horse who went blind from training abuse. And she was the very first animal that arrived, and that's how we ended up doing blind horses. Here she comes right now. And she's just the sweetest, calmest horse you could imagine, and she was a perfect first-time blind horse to have. She taught us everything we needed to know. Most people assume blind horses can't go out on pasture, they can't have a good quality of life. People think they're dangerous, they're going to hurt you, or they're going to hurt themselves. And all those myths are absolutely just flat wrong. And every day these blind horses of ours demonstrate that. I mean, they just want a chance to be a horse, and that's what they get to do here.
We'll have visitors that will sometimes tell us that they've put off coming here to visit the ranch because they think the animals will be sad or pathetic, and they get here and they see them having a great time, being happy, enjoying life, just being a dog, a cat, or a horse, and just wanting to love and be loved. And it's just a great experience when you have people come and they see this, and it also serves as an education for the public.
This is Barron, who's blind and deaf, and he came to us a few weeks ago from the Grants Pass, Oregon Animal Control Shelter, and just found as a stray, and he can't see or hear a thing. His eyes were never developed, so he's technically has something called microphthalmia, but he's absolutely fearless, totally self-confident. I mean, because he was born this way, he has no idea the world isn't dark. He has no idea that the rest of us can see and hear things, and so he just gets out and goes exploring, and it scares us to death sometimes, because he's small enough that he gets through our fence and starts wandering out into the drive. Doing this has actually taught us quite a bit, not only about the animals and the various sort of medical conditions and needs that they have, but also about people, because we see the full range of people and the values that people bring to life, because we have animals who have been terribly abused or mistreated or neglected by people, and we have animals who are here only because somebody has intervened in their life to save them, rescue them, and get them to a place like this. So we've learned not to focus on the negatives that we see with the people who mistreat animals, or the people that just want to get rid of the animal because it's got a disability, but to focus on the people that have made a difference in all of the lives that are here with these 80 animals.
You know, when you work with animals, you can sometimes see the absolute worst in the human spirit, but when you have the people that come in and intervene on behalf of an animal, then you see the absolute best of the human spirit.